It was early morning, and the sun was just beginning to rise over the hills as Jesus and his disciples made their way from Bethany to Jerusalem. The cool breeze carried the scent of fresh blossoms, and the birds sang joyfully as they traveled along the dusty road. Jesus was leading the way, his heart focused on the work he was about to do in the holy city. His disciples followed closely behind, eager to learn from their teacher as they always did. Along the way, they passed fields of olive trees and vineyards, the land full of life and greenery. But as the morning stretched on, Jesus began to feel hungry. His eyes scanned the path ahead, and then, in the distance, he spotted a fig tree. Its wide leaves swayed gently in the wind, and from afar, it looked lush and full, promising fruit. The disciples also noticed the fig tree. Its large, green leaves suggested that there might be figs growing among its branches. Peter, who had been walking beside Jesus, pointed toward the tree. "Look, teacher, perhaps we can find some fruit there." With hope in their hearts, they approached the tree. The closer they came, the more it seemed like the perfect place to satisfy their hunger. But when they finally stood beneath its thick branches, something was wrong. The tree had no fruit. Not a single fig hung from its branches. Though it looked healthy and full of life on the outside, the tree was barren, there was nothing to eat. Jesus stood before the tree, looking at its leaves swaying in the breeze. He knew something deeper was happening. This tree, which looked so promising, had failed to bear the fruit it was meant to produce. The disciples watched in silence, unsure of what their teacher would say. Then, Jesus spoke. His voice was calm but firm, and his words carried a message not just for the fig tree, but for his disciples as well. "May no one ever eat fruit from you again," Jesus said. The disciples looked at one another, puzzled. Why had Jesus spoken this curse over the tree? What did this moment mean? They continued their journey to Jerusalem, but the image of the fig tree stayed in their minds. The next morning, as Jesus and his disciples returned to Bethany, they passed the fig tree once again. But this time, something was different. Peter, always quick to observe, pointed it out. "Rabbi, look," he exclaimed. "The fig tree you cursed has withered from the roots." The disciples stared in amazement. The once lush tree, with its wide green leaves, had completely shriveled. Its branches were dry, and its leaves had fallen to the ground. It had withered away, just as Jesus had said. Jesus turned to his disciples, seeing their astonished faces. He knew this moment would become an important lesson for them. "Have faith in God," he said. "Truly I tell you, if anyone says to this mountain, 'Go, throw yourself into the sea,' and does not doubt in their heart but believes that what they say will happen, it will be done for them." The disciples listened closely. Jesus continued, "Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. And when you stand praying, if you hold anything against anyone, forgive them, so that your Father in heaven may forgive you your sins." In that moment, the disciples began to understand. The fig tree represented more than just a plant without fruit, it was a symbol of faith and spiritual growth. Just as the fig tree was expected to bear fruit, God expects his people to bear the fruit of faith, love, and righteousness. And just as the fig tree withered when it was fruitless, those who lack faith and fail to live out God's calling may wither spiritually. But Jesus also gave them hope. He taught them that with faith in God, they could do incredible things. Even mountains could be moved if they truly believed in their hearts. And he reminded them that forgiveness was a key part of living a fruitful life. Just as God forgives, so should they forgive others. As the disciples left the withered fig tree behind, they carried with them the deeper lesson Jesus had taught. They knew now that it wasn't enough to look good on the outside, like the fig tree with its green leaves. They needed to bear fruit in their lives, fruit that came from true faith in God, from living in love and forgiveness, and from walking in obedience to his will. The story of the fig tree became a reminder for them, and for all of us, that God looks at our hearts. He desires that we bear fruit in our lives, kindness, patience, faithfulness, and love. And with faith in God, all things are possible. Wait, don't go yet. If you know you love God and you love this video, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comment section below and share this video to your friends and family. Don't watch alone guys, share it. Cause you know sharing is caring and caring is loving and of course loving is godly and most importantly please subscribe. Thanks for watching, see you in my next video, bye.